don't care if this offends you or not. La Croche is liquid hairspray. The superior sparkling water is sparkling ice. I said what I said. Taylor Swift gets called out by another artist for allegedly not writing her own songs. If you're a murderino, aka a fan of the podcast My Favorite Murder, there's some big changes coming to that show and people are a little upset. Actually, a lot upset. Disney is making a movie about cannibalism and the majority of millennials claim to be Christian, but only 2% actually have a biblical worldview, according to a new study. This is the perfect episode if you like the dark, spicy conservative. I'm Alex Clark, and this is Politics. I've seen a lot of stupid things in my life, but I've never seen anyone with a death wish for their career quite like singer Damon Albarn. Never heard of him? Well, I hadn't either until yesterday. I guess he was in The Gorillaz, if you remember them. Damon decided to do an interview with the Los Angeles Times and said that Taylor Swift doesn't write her own songs.
Gentlemen, it has been a privilege playing with you tonight.
It didn't take long for Taylor to find out about this, and boy, was she pissed. She tweeted, @Damon Albarn, I was such a big fan of yours until I saw this. I write all of my own songs. Your hot take is completely false and so damaging. You don't have to like my songs, but it's really effed up to try and discredit my writing. Wow. Swifties went after this man like the Village People in Beauty and the Beast. Then pretty much every producer Taylor Swift has ever worked with came to her defense, from Jack Antonoff to Aaron Dessner. You can come for Taylor Swift on a lot of things, like her dancing, but it better never be to question if she writes her own songs. She's one of the best songwriters in the business, and that's final.
Cool! You dance like an unattended fire hose.
Big news for murderinos. That means any fans of true crime comedy podcast My Favorite Murder, Karen and Georgia, the hosts, have given Amazon and Wondery Media exclusive rights to My Favorite Murder for distribution.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Judging by the comments, murderinos are really disappointed in this decision. Someone said it was a complete capitulation of values, and another said it was damaging to the brand in a spectacular strategic error.
That's just what I'd expect you to say. Dumb people are always blissfully unaware of how dumb they really are.
If there are any CUTEservative murderinos in the house, are you disappointed in Karen and Georgia for this deal, or are you totally unbothered by it?
So if you were like, walk by her, you were wearing a red shirt, she'd go, red attracts. But it's like, I'm five.
A new 10-part docuseries on A&E paints Hugh Hefner as a rapist and someone who was into bestiality. The Daily Beast describes Hugh as a predator who personally raped, coerced, and dominated playmates, allowed his friends and celebrities, among them Bill Cosby, to do likewise, and fashioned a cult-like environment to satisfy his incessant appetite for sex and power. I feel like I'm saying this a lot today, but are you even shocked? The series premiered Monday on A&E. Have you watched, or is Hugh just way old news by now?
The reason I think The Mansion was very cult-like, looking back on it, is because we were all kind of gaslit and expected to think of Hef as like this really good guy. And you started to feel like, oh, he's not what they say in the media, he's just a nice man. Another thing that reminds me of a cult is how it was so easy to get isolated from the outside world there. You had a 9 o'clock curfew. You were encouraged to not have friends over. You weren't really allowed to leave unless it was like a family holiday.
Are there rules, like can you have boyfriends at all?
No.
You're not allowed
Half
to.
is our boyfriend.
How do you know when you're called to the master bedroom? Do you have nights?
Yeah.
The sex always happened kind of like the same time, the same night.
We would go out to a club every Wednesday and Friday, and that would be expected when we got home.
Hulu, which is a Disney-owned studio, is making a horror movie about a doctor who dismembers women and eats them. Breitbart News wrote that the movie will be called Fresh, and it's starring Marvel's Captain America actor Sebastian Stan, has earned largely positive reviews since debuting virtually at this year's Sundance Film Festival, with critics appreciating its female-centric approach to horror. The movie begins by following the dating app adventures of single young woman Noah, played by Daisy Edgar Jones, who encounters a string of creeps and losers. Wow, that's relatable! But that all changes when she meets Steve, aka Sebastian Stan, a young surgeon who appears promising until he doesn't. Searchlight served as a producer on the movie and will distribute it worldwide. The movie starts streaming on Hulu March 4th and already has a 93% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you think you'll have an appetite for this one? Bone apple teeth.
Very crunchy.
According to Arizona Christian University, the majority of millennials, 61% to be exact, consider themselves to be Christian, but only 2% know anything about the Bible or have an accurate view of theology. Is this surprising? Are you shocked? Just look at the pastors who are social media stars that millennials are watching.
Gross. That's disgusting.
What I'm telling you is just as he's physically standing here, knowing what's coming, God's saying, can you physically and spiritually and emotionally be able to stand when getting the vision or receiving it might get nasty?
This is disgusting.
Hey, spillover stragglers, get caught up on the podcast today and tomorrow before the next episode drops. By the way, I just locked down a guest for February that is going to have you screaming, absolutely screaming, like some of you are going to lose your ever-loving mind. Shut up! That's all I'm telling you for now. Tap the heart button if you love and appreciate the Politics team making these episodes every day. Say hi! Hi! What do you think about the My Favorite Murder news and the study about Christian millennials? Shocked? Not shocked? This is the shocked episode. Everything is shocked. DM this episode to your theology-loving friend and don't leave before hitting the save button to propel the episode in the algorithm. We're back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. It's pop culture without the propaganda every single day. I'm Alex Clark, and this is Politics. Support Politics, the first ever conservative pop culture daily show, by subscribing to our channel, turning on notifications, and of course, hitting the thumbs up. Also, our main home is on Instagram. Seriously, just trust me, that's where the real magic happens. Follow us there at Politics.